All right, so today we're going to be making a buttercup squash soup, and we are going to feature the buttercup squash right here from the garden. And we are also going to be featuring our homemade chicken broth that we made and then canned. We will be listing all of the ingredients near the end of the video, but as you can see, there are not that many. It's a very good soup to make and then play with. It's almost similar to a baked potato soup because the buttercup squash, it tastes similar to a sweet potato. And when you add the white potatoes, red potatoes, whatever potatoes you choose to use with it, it really starts to take on the flavor of a baked potato soup. This time I am doing something a little different. I'm going to add some bacon and just a little side note here is most of the ingredients we would typically be using from our garden. We'd be using our own potatoes, our own onions, and probably bacon from the farmer's market. But we went through all of those things already. So we are just featuring our very own buttercup squash and chicken broth. So I am going to start cutting and chopping and measuring, and we will check back in when we're ready to assemble the soup. All right, so I know I said we would check back in once everything was chopped up, but I have a bunch of hungry people to feed, so I started cooking. So in the soup pot, we have 4 tablespoons of olive oil and 2 cups of chopped onion. And over here, we have our cooked bacon. Some will go in the soup, and some will be used as a garnish. Now over here, we're going to be adding 2 cups of potato, and then cooking for a few minutes and adding about 6 cups of broth. I'm going to judge it a little later to see how much. I think I have a little bit extra squash I'm going to use, so I might need a little more broth. And I will check back in when I'm done cutting up the squash and adding it in. All right, so we're just checking in. So the last thing you saw were the onions sauteing in the olive oil. I added a pinch of salt and some pepper, and then I added 2 cups of chopped and peeled red potato, and I did a dash of cayenne pepper. That is going to be up to you. You can add as much or as little as you want. I don't add too much because the kids like to eat the soup. After about 3 minutes of cooking down, I added a total of about 6.5 cups of broth, and then I shook in a little bit of garlic and a little bit of extra onion powder, just because that's what we like here. But most of our flavor is going to come from the vegetables themselves and the broth that we made. So that's where you're going to get the most of your flavor. This is going to simmer for about 20 minutes till it's tender. I like to just poke it with a fork. Then we're going to bring it over here. If you have an immersion blender, that's great. I did have one, and then I used it to make soap, so now I can't use it on my food. So we're going to puree the soup in the food processor, transfer it to the bowl we will be storing it in, and then when we're serving it, we've got a lot of great things. We've got some bacon, some cheese. I'm going to do a crema out of the sour cream, and then I forgot to mention we have these lovely chives that my aunt dried and sent to us. We're going to use those to top it off. And so we'll come back when I am pureeing the soup to show you what it's looking like and show you how to plate it, and we'll take a nice little finished product picture. All right, just a quick bit of progress. So I took my soup, I have my little station over here. The soup goes into the food processor in batches, and then it gets put into the bowl over here. Now I know this looks really thick. This looks a little less thick. Once everything's mixed together, you'll see the consistency evens out. Like I said, the immersion blender works perfect because it's a very tender squash. And the best thing is you can switch that squash out. You can use butternut squash. You can even use sweet potato if you wanted to. It's great to play around with. So I will show you the finished product in a few minutes. All right, and this is the final product when you're ready to serve it. I added the bacon after it was all pureed because I wanted the texture of the bacon in there this time around. And all I did was I made a simple crema, which a nice little hack is just sour cream, thin it out with a little water, and add seasonings that you want to bring out. I added some garlic, some paprika, and a little pinch of salt to mine. Had a little extra bacon on top, some nice cheese, some of the nice dried chives, or you can do fresh chives. You don't even need to be fancy. This is just a fancy video for you guys. All right, I hope you try it out. I hope you enjoy it, and if you like it, hit the like button and subscribe.